Okay, so when you think about what makes your patent valuable, your mind probably jumps right to the invention, right? The tech, the big idea. But what if I told you a huge chunk of its value is actually tied to this hidden clock? Yeah, a clock where every single day of protection is pure gold.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Is your patent secretly losing value every single day? It sounds kind of dramatic, I know, but it's really happening. These little invisible chunks of time are just vanishing from your patent's life. And it's not because of some huge screw-up. No, it's the tiny little procedural delays that are eating away at it. And at the heart of this whole thing is that hidden clock we talked about. You know, this clock, it could not care less how revolutionary your tech is. It just ticks away based on procedure, deadlines, paperwork, the boring stuff. So the real threat here isn't someone stealing your invention. It's the lifespan of your protection getting shorter and shorter. At the end of the day, it all comes down to time.
All right, so how does this actually happen? Like, what's the mechanism here? Let's get into the weeds a bit and break down how these precious days just disappear. It really boils down to two key concepts you got to understand. First up, we've got something called the Information Disclosure Statement, or IDS for short. Now, this is basically your legal duty to tell the patent office about any prior art, related stuff that's already out there that you know about. Seems simple enough, right? Just a compliance thing. But as you're about to see, when you do it is absolutely critical.
And the second piece of the puzzle is patent term adjustment, or PTA. This is the system that's supposed to have your back. It's designed to pay you back for delays. So if the patent office is dragging its feet, PTA adds those lost days back onto the end of your patent's life. Sounds fair, right? Well, there's a huge catch. It only credits you for their delays, not yours. So check out this timeline. This shows you exactly how the clock gets dinged, see? Everything's moving along just fine, your application is filed, examination begins, but then, boom. Look at day 300. A late IDS gets filed. The whole process just grinds to a halt. The examiner literally has to stop what they're doing, review all this new material, and rethink things. That interruption, that's where you start losing time. And trust me, the system knows exactly who caused that delay.
And this really makes the difference crystal clear. If the USPTO causes a delay, you get days added back to your patent term. That's the PTA doing its job. But if you cause the delay, like with that late IDS we just saw, the system subtracts days. It sees that pause as your fault and it penalizes you for it. So that simple little act of compliance, do it at the wrong time and it suddenly becomes a very, very costly mistake.
Now look, this isn't just some administrative headache we're talking about. This is serious stuff. Every single day of patent term you lose is a day of market exclusivity gone, and that translates directly into lost dollars. So let's talk about the real-world financial cost of these seemingly tiny timing mistakes.
I mean, losing 30, maybe 60 days on one patent, you might think, no big deal. But these timing mistakes have this nasty domino effect. They cascade across your entire patent family. A few little missteps here and there can easily add up to 90 days. We're talking a full business quarter of lost market exclusivity on your core technology. That is a huge window of revenue that you will never, ever get back.
And here's the really crucial point. It's all about perception. When investors or potential buyers are kicking the tires on your company, you better believe they look at this data. A reduced patent term doesn't just mean you have less time to make money. It signals procedural sloppiness. It's a massive red flag that maybe, just maybe, your whole IP management game isn't as tight as it should.
This chart just makes the financial hit undeniable. I mean, look at this. Patent A, it's got its full term, valued at $1 million. Now look at Patent B, with its term cut short because of lost PTA. That difference in time, it creates a real, tangible drop in valuation. For any company that's built on its IP, this is not some theoretical risk. This is a direct hit, right to the bottom line.
And the risks just keep stacking up, don't they? Every little procedural slip just weakens your position. Suddenly, you've got less leverage when you're trying to cut a licensing deal. Your valuation gets dinged during your next funding round. And yeah, you're waving that huge red flag for investors. And that cascading effect we talked about, it means one mistake can put your whole portfolio at risk, cutting short the one thing you can't buy more of, market exclusivity.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's a bit grim, I get it. But here's the good news. Timing doesn't have to be this random thing that just happens to you. You can actually plan it. You can optimize it.
So let's shift gears and talk solutions. Let's look at a proactive playbook that turns this whole risk into a serious competitive advantage.
All right, here's the playbook. It's pretty straightforward. Number 1, disclose early and often. Don't sit around waiting to build the perfect list. Just submit references as you find them. Get them in. Second, align with your R&D cycles. Every time you hit a major technical milestone, make reviewing prior art part of the debrief. It should be automatic. Third, coordinate globally. You got to track those foreign search reports and sync them up with your US timeline. And finally, number 4, systematize your communication. Create one simple, unbreakable rule. Any new reference gets reported to your IP counsel immediately. Period. No exceptions.
So what does a system like that actually look like in the real world? Well, for starters, it means having automated reminders, not just hoping someone checks a spreadsheet. It means you've got synced-up visibility across all your related applications, both here in the US and abroad. You should be able to track your PTA status in real time, just like you track a package. And most importantly, there needs to be a centralized process where someone has clear ownership. Everyone needs to know their exact role in protecting the company's time.
You know, at the end of the day, this all comes down to a big shift in mindset. Protecting your patent's lifespan, it isn't just about filling out paperwork correctly. It's about fundamentally recognizing that for your invention, time is value. They're one and the same.
And if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Managing patent timing is not some boring legal chore you pass off to the lawyers. It's a core business function. It is every bit as critical as managing your cash flow or nailing your product roadmap. This is about actively, intentionally protecting the value and the longevity of your company's most important assets.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. You've poured months, maybe even years, of blood, sweat, and innovation into this invention. You've done the hard work of protecting the idea itself, but are you actively protecting its time? Because in the end, every single one of those days you save is another day of market exclusivity that you own. And that time, that's a power you really can't afford to just let slip away.